Nzete bankwatako olaba tanka yannemwa tanka namba yampita ku mugongo ganekwasa mukava neyokubiri nempitako etaka neryeyasa era singa teryeyasa nali byabyataddenga capati kakati Sawulo omuntu wembu bankwateko gwe
kusente 10 nkuweko bukabalagala bubiri bukabwe buti
kale kwa butano kana ali bubiri nendi ubusa
sijja kuguza genda okulawo oba mulowooza bwe najja okutula edduuka najja kuzanyisibwa obuzanyisibwa mba bubiri mbayo kamu maama opita kyuma.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, on yet another exciting episode of UNCC at Home. This time around, we are going to be having a drama, one of the legends Uganda has ever got in the field of not only writing, but acting for radio, for TV, for stage. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a weekend for Muduuma Kwe Kwaffe. And with me, I have Madame Kaaya, who not only is she related, I will use the word related, to the legends that have worked on different pieces, but especially Muduuma Kwe Kwaffe, but she also got the chance to direct this play twice. And she's also a playwright. She has one of the good pieces of My Maid and I, which escapades in that production have happened in my home, actually. So, indeed, we can say artists are mirrors of society. So, welcome, Madame Kaaya.
Thank you very much, Edwin.
Yes.
I'm honored to be here.
Who is Kaaya?
Kaaya is a lover of the arts. She's a creative artist who is an actress, a playwright, a director for radio, for stage, for community theater, for movies, an arts manager, a workshop facilitator. There's a lot right there.
Wow. Today we are really going to focus on Muduuma Kwe Kwaffe and also Wycliffe Kiyingi. Of course, we shall relate it to the current situation because good art stands the test of time. So however much this play was written in those days when some of us were still crawling or even not born, it still speaks to us. For starters, what is your relationship between the Kaaya Kagimu family and the Wycliffe Kiyingi family?
It actually stems from my father. It was Samuel Kagimu Mukasa. Rest in peace, Daddy, love you. And Wycliffe Kiyingi. They were very, very good friends. And they actually started the first Ugandan professional group, I'd say. It was called African Artists Association. And that was like the first Ugandan group. After there was a British group and then there was an Indian group that was doing professional drama at the National Theatre. And Wycliffe Kiyingi, as we call him the grandfather of arts, the grandfather of writing in Uganda, because he's one of the few artists who has actually published works. So they worked very closely together. My father was an accountant by profession, but he worked for, I think it was like 37 years in, at the time it was Radio Uganda, and then it became Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. He started off as the commercial manager, then he went on to be chief commercial manager. But while he was working at Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, he was blessed to go and study TV and radio in Canada, Toronto, Canada. So then he came back, and since they were bosom buddies, as it were, with Mr. Wycliffe Kiyingi, they started the drama company. Wycliffe Kiyingi was a writer, an amazing writer.
Yes.
They called him the Bernard Shaw of Africa.
Yeah.
And my father was an actor in that group, but he was also the director for most of the plays that Wycliffe Kiyingi wrote. And he shared like such interesting experiences, because he told us one time that they were acting and they used like real props. This real prop was alcohol. So now they get on stage and their fellow actor grabs the bottle. I think it was a whiskey bottle. So he's drinking. And when it was time to say his lines, he couldn't. But thankfully, the way they were rehearsing was everybody learned each other's lines, just like the way we were with Muduuma Kwe Kwaffe. So they ended up saying his lines for him.
Wow.
And then the curtain came down, and that was the end of like using real props. So yeah, that is where that relationship comes from with Mr. Wycliffe Kiyingi. I remember when we were young, like sort of 5 years old, 7 years old, we used to come to the National Theatre, would run, go up and down as Daddy was doing rehearsals. And I used to watch Wycliffe Kiyingi from afar.
Yes.
And I just admired the way he wrote, like so much. As he said, there was an interview that we held with him where he said, a question was posed to him, said, Byron Kawadwa was killed because of his drama,
Yes.
How did you survive? And he said, I was careful with my pen. And in all his written works,
Yes.
he is very careful with his pen.
Yes.
He's very economical with the lines that he writes. And every line has a meaning, and it builds. One line builds into another. So there are no redundant moments in his scripts. Every moment speaks. Even the silences speak.
Yes.
So I would say briefly that is like the connection that the Kagimu Kasa family and the Kiyingi family has.
Okay. Now, with Muduuma Kwe Kwaffe, first of all, as the viewers will agree with me, it's an amazing cast. It's an amazing story. It's an amazing setup, scenery design, and all that. Up to now, as part of the cast for Muduuma Kwe Kwaffe, I've watched it more than 50 times, I can tell you. What inspired you? Were you inspired with the casting? Was it a magical moment? I don't know, I always want to ask this question. What happened with the casting? Because it was spot on, I should say.
I would say it's a combination of a lot of things. As I said, first and foremost, I have utmost respect for Wycliffe Kiyingi. And for starters, I was really, really honored to be asked to direct it. This was like a dream come true for me. And I needed to do justice to that script, because I really, really like it with all my heart. And the way we put the cast together was, one, you remember we had challenges with finances.
Yes.
So we really had to call upon the goodwill of people that I had worked before in different projects, in different capacities. People who would understand our cause and be willing to build it with us, whether or not they were being paid the way they were supposed to be paid. So after reading the script over and over again and enjoying it silently, I had different people in mind who I thought would fit the various parts, because there was no open audition, there was no funding for that. So I handpicked the cast, and it was like everybody was happy to return the favor.
Yes.
Because I had worked with all of them before. And I was so let me say, I was really, really pleasantly surprised that when I brought everybody together, they worked. All of us worked as a team. It was a team effort.
Yes.
It was a team effort. So, yeah, I think that is what happened. I had to make it work.
And for me personally, as part of that cast, I think it was a very challenging cast.
It was.
Because the person you feel is senior, you see them over-concentrating in the script, then you say, okay, if one Patrick Omudiuka is really over-concentrating on his cues, on his lines, who am I? You really pick yourself up.
Yes.
For me personally, that's one thing that stood out.
And also, like, another thing I would like to say is we had a cast of mature actors.
Yes.
You know, these are people who have international acclaim and have the arts at heart.
Yes.
So when they are part of the project, they will respect the project. That is why you see there were people like Joseph Olgembe, R.I.P. You know, I had a lot of respect for him as an artist.
Yes.
Because when you gave him a script, Joseph would cram those lines and he would recite them back word for word.
Yes.
We had people like Isaac Muawu, but these people have been acting like forever. We had people like Joanita Beulira Wandera, you know, and we had people like Alice Mwanga. We had people like Patrick Mjuka. These are the big names we have in Uganda today. But then these are the few big names who really, really respect the art. So when they come, it is a job. Much as it is a passion, it is a job. When you talk about timekeeping, they are there.
They are there.
You know, when you talk about cramming their lines, they are there. When you talk about getting into the characters, they are there. You know, you get here, you remember the theater games we used to do? They were willing to just get in there.
Yes.
And just do everything that needed to be done. I know I've just named a few, but I'm not disregarding everybody else who was part of the cast, because everybody had something special to bring.
Yes.
To bring to the play.
When I was at university, I read a play called The Road by Wole Soyinka, and I didn't understand the thing. And I read it again, so I came to a conclusion, I'm dense. Until my lecturer said, Dr. Jessica Kawa, said this is one of the most complicated plays she had read. So it's the same with Wycliffe Kiyingi. When I first read this play, like I didn't understand it. I didn't sink actually. Actually, I remember he gave me one of the big roles. So I was wondering what is going to happen. Now, like you've said, those guys had discipline. We used to come here. Maybe you thought we were sharp. No, we used to come at 2. We rehearse for like 2 hours until you come. So I'm talking of the Isaac Mwau, the late Musoke, may his soul rest in peace. And these guys all gave their all to this production. These are guys who had their jobs, but still.
Yes.
Personally, apart from the casting and the production process, what does, when someone speaks of the play Muduuma Kwe Kwaffe, what straight away comes to your head?
Okay, the fact that it is set in an era of 33 years, that alone is something big. Okay, because it addresses a number of issues. The war veterans who returned after the 1945 war. It also addresses the boycott.
Yes.
The Agustino Kamya boycott, 1958-1959. And then it also talks about the economic war, 1972.
Yes.
Okay? So it's a combination of a number of things. But what is special about it is Muduuma Kwe Kwaffe. Muduuma is our home. Muduuma could be anywhere because it talks about issues that affect the layperson.
Yes.
It is not set up there. It is not set around. It's set here with us.
Yes.
So these are situations that every human being will go through. Okay, you're talking about the economic war,
Yes.
finances, like times are good, times are bad. I mean, that could be a situation anywhere. Today we have the COVID-19 situation. People had their businesses, they were up and running, and all of a sudden, there was no more business. The same way as we had the gap in 1972 when the Asians left, and the businesses were left hanging.
Yes.
And like now, the Ugandans had to sort of step in. They had no clue what they were doing. But Uganda, because we are resilient, people sort of go in there.
Yes.
And then now we are talking about the war veterans, as I say.
Yes.
They come back. They're talking about war. Who doesn't know about war? They talk about death. They talk about survival. They talk about having to go through all sorts of traumatizing situations. And then they come back and life has to go on. Now they tell the story of wherever they have been and what they have experienced. And if you just say war, every country in the world, let me say every continent in the world, has experienced war. So they would know. If you're talking about good governance or bad governance, I mean, much as it is Muduuma, the small town Muduuma, it deals with universal issues. And then there are social issues of relationships.
Yes.
Today Muchala and Nambande was with Dominico, and then she's off to Yosia. That what happened in Balos. So much as it is Muduuma, this small town Muduuma, it addresses universal issues.
Wasn't Wycliffe Kiyingi sexist? When you see,
I don't want to go there.
Wow.
That is an opinion.
Yeah.
And that will
Guys,
be a discussion of another day.
I really wish you stay tuned and watch Muduuma Kwe Kwaffe, because this piece, actually we are going to show it 2 times because the production is too long. So we shall have one part and then we shall have another one. So be mindful of when we are going to stream part 2. But it has good anchors. This play has good anchors that you can watch and think it has ended actually, but it still picks up.
Yes, it does.
Wow. First tell me about, as we close, about dinner theatre. This is a good idea by you. I really liked. Only that I was worried if I'm so much part of the audience. Already I'm big. What's going to become of me?
Okay. Dinner theatre was an idea that I got from the United States. It was 2000. I used to go for a program called Culture on Wheels. And while I was there, my cousin, Kathy Luanga, took me out. He said, "You're a theatre person, let me surprise you." So we get to this place. It was set up like for dinner. So as we ordered, the lights went out. And I thought, oh, what happened? Umeme. And these people have issues. So the lights like sort of went out and they came up again. And when they came up, in the middle were 3 people. And I watched and I thought, what is going on here? And for the next hour, my eyes were glued on these 3 people who did a fantastic theatre piece. Now, when I came back, I thought, okay, one of the main challenges we have is funding.
Yes.
We like to do big plays because we are a community-oriented society. But now, in the absence of the funds that you need for a big cast, what do you do? You can actually do it with a few people, with 3 people or 4 people. So I thought, why not start? And like the whole idea is, as we nurture the soul, theatre is food for the soul.
Yes.
We should nurture our bodies as well.
Yes.
So we sit, we have a meal, we watch drama, we laugh, we shed off our stress, we learn something, we enjoy ourselves. It's an evening well spent. That is what dinner theatre is about. And like I was blessed actually to be able to do 4 productions.
Yes.
One was What Do You Do When You Don't Know What to Do? About the AIDS dilemma. 2 virgins who get married and find out they're HIV positive, and they had no clue where that came from. And then we had another one, What Language Does the Wind Speak? That was based on a true story, my story. I had done work for somebody and they hadn't paid me for 7 years. So I decided to write them in the script. So at the end of it, he paid me, so that was a good one.
It worked.
It worked. And then the next one was Rhythm of My Chaos. That was like 3 ladies. And then the 4th one was Grave Robber Services. That was 3 men. The other one was 3 ladies.
Yes.
And Grave Robber Services was 3 men. And then we also tried 2. That was My Maid and I.
Yes.
So we will get back. Definitely we'll come back after the COVID-19 shutdown. And yes, life will go on.
Wow. Thank you so much, Kaaya, for your time.
Thank you.
One lesson I've picked from this interview: if someone is not paying you, write that song, write that play, and things will be good. Yes, I hope you enjoy the show, and be mindful to tune in always. UNCC at Home every Friday at 7:30 because of the social distancing. We shall be behind the camera and you'll be at home watching us. Thank you so much for being part of this great interview, but the play is starting in a bit. Enjoy.
Mpaya akatoleka sabuni ngende na
Lwaki nemala okutuula? Nti lwaki olinda nemala okutuula? Genda okulawala.